Did you guys hear about the terrible attack committed against 2 random Jewish people in Washington, D.C. for no reason aside from their Jewish identity? I condemn this anti-Semitic assault, or at least that's how the media has been framing it. So the narrative here among, the typical Zionist morons has been, this was anti-Semitic. He couldn't have known who these people were. He just went to a Jewish museum. Yeah, they don't mention the fact that the Jewish Museum was holding an event by an explicitly pro-Israel Zionist organization, explicitly and openly designed for diplomats and members of Zionist organizations to help them learn to do propaganda better. So there's that thing, right? Kind of throws a wrench in the idea that, this was not an attack directed against Israeli government employees because they were Israeli government employees in retaliation for what the Israeli government is doing in Gaza. Because it was. Even fucking genocidal Zionist Israeli media is being forced to admit to the political motivation for the attack. The event was held by the typical Zionist organization named the American Jewish Committee, right? It is an organization that has a neutral sounding name, just a committee for Jews, right? How could you possibly think there's anything wrong with that? Well, look at the fucking page. And then you look at their website, and how do they choose to describe themselves immediately? As bold advocates for Jews and Israel. They consider those things practically the same. Anytime they mention the Jewish people, it's always with Israel. Down here, advocate for Israel and the Jewish people. To them, these things are basically one and the same. So this was an event held by an openly Zionist organization. An event for diplomats, aka Israeli government employees. And according to the Israeli ambassador himself, who has no reason to lie about this, he's the Israeli ambassador. If anything, this hurts Israel's narrative that he's admitting this, right? They want to frame it as nothing more than an anti-Semitic, a nonsensical anti-Semitic attack that had no political motivations. So the Israeli ambassador says this hurts their narrative, and we have no reason to disbelieve it. According to the Israeli ambassador, Yechiel later, the attacker mingled with participants at an event hosted by the American Jewish Committee earlier that evening, gathering information on embassy personnel. So he identified the 2 Israeli genocide propagandists who were attacked as Israeli embassy personnel and targeted them because they were Israeli embassy personnel. Now, the anti-Semitic angle does not work in the first place because one of them was fucking Christian. And these people have been trying to say that the Christian was actually Jewish because his father was Jewish. Ergo, it was actually an anti-Semitic attack. Now, this argument makes no sense in the first place, because even if both of them were Jewish, every single fucking thing that happens to a Jew ever is not anti-Semitism. Give us a fucking break, you dumb fuck. The IDF is made up of Jews. When they get attacked for doing genocide in Gaza, is that anti-Semitism? Oh, I bet you think it is, actually. What a weird question to ask you guys. I know you think that. So that talking point is ridiculous on the face of it in the first place. But the irony of this is that he's not actually considered Jewish by Israeli law. Not by Israeli law, not by religious law. By religious law, you're only a Jew if your mother was Jewish. So he's out there. By Israeli nationality law, he's not eligible for the right of return. You know why? Because once you become a Christian, once you convert your religion, you are no longer considered a Jew. You can be an atheist. You can be Jewish, but you can't be any other religion. The second you convert, you're no longer a Jew. It doesn't matter if both your parents were Jewish. So, what else is there to say about that? Did you hear that Hassan Piker is also responsible for the poor, genocidal Israeli diplomats being cruelly murdered for no reason aside from their Jewish identity? And did you know they were about to get married in Jerusalem? How cruel. Just like Adolf Hitler. Adolf Hitler was married for barely 1 day before he was cruelly forced to kill himself by invading terrorist Soviets. Hassan Piker is responsible for this. I'm also responsible for this too, they said. My response to that is, if I say anything, I will get in big trouble. It's great that they were about to get married in Jerusalem. They can't get married in Jerusalem. It's illegal for them to get married in Israel. In Israel, Jews are only allowed to marry Jews. I eat my ass. These people will murder the uninvolved 5th cousin of some random Hamas garbage collector, and they'll celebrate it. And now they want you to feel sad for 2 paid Israeli government propagandists